Hi, welcome again to A Foreigner in the Philippines, and I'm still walking, okay, well, plodding really more than anything, on the road from the old four-square church. Sorry, I'm carrying a shock absorber under my arm, and that's from the blue. But I thought that I would come in and show you a little bit more of what has actually been an improved road since we had the grader come in. But we've also had lots of burnings. You can still see some of the burn-offs on the dark. See the patches over there of black before it's turned green again. But all that nice fresh green look. This is just a little bit after the spot that Talik and I always used to look out, and that was my particular pastures of heaven. That little valley there where all of these hills all weave in and out of each other. And this is the road that has some concern when you're driving, because the young boys on motorcycles come flying around here without any thought that anybody else might be on the planet. So you take it steady and you sound the horn. Now let me see if I can point out to you just how the community works with each other from afar. Now, I believe, I'm going on what Beth has told me, so who knows. My own sense of direction in these things is terrible. When you think that the British, of which I am a part, the British at one time were the greatest, and I'm sure that someone will contradict me, had the greatest navy in the world. That was the British Navy. And they had the greatest navy in the world. Of course, there were other contenders. The French were great sailors, the Norwegians, let me see, the Dutch, well, Spain. One piece of history that was always taught to us kids was the fall of the Spanish Armada. And so Walter Raleigh was the hero of the time. Of course, everybody kowtowed to a queen of some kind at the time, around those years. In a way, it's not so different, is it? But anyway, I was going to say that little silver patch that you can see there, I think, according to Beth, is the roof of an expat, John. And there over there, look, is another couple of little patches of silver, and I think that that's Philip and Annabeth. Either that or it's Tom. Tom built a nice new house very near the crest of the hill there, so it might be Tom's. But right around that place is Philip and Annabeth anyway. And over on those hills over there, somewhere over there, is the Village of Hope. Probably over those hills. So, back to the British Armada. I'm sorry, the Spanish Armada, my mind's wandering as I am, and they were about to invade, and they were on their way, probably hundreds of ships, the old galleons, the old ships of wood, and they were all sailing, and apparently the British didn't have, at the time, didn't have on call available enough ships and men to be able to repel the Armada. So what Sir Walter Raleigh did was he loaded the old boats, the old sailing boats, old galleons and so on, and he loaded them with pitch, highly inflammable, and he set them a sail out, I guess, with the rudder tied so that they would aim towards the Armada, and the Armada from Spain was so tightly knit together that they were routed by these burning ships. Walter Raleigh had thought of this ingenious thing of set the boats afire and sail them out, and that would be the undoing of the Spanish Armada. In fact, as we kids who would believe anything were told at the time, that's exactly what happened. I believe it was Walter Raleigh. Walter Raleigh was the other famous one. These little snippets of British history that are rammed down the throats of gullible children. And that was when the lady had to step off the sidewalk and there was a pool of water. I think it was Sir Walter Raleigh took off his cloak and he laid it down on the ground to cover the puddle. Why not call it what it was? It was a puddle. And she stepped onto the cloak and exited quite with dry feet. I'm sure it was the only puddle in the entire street, and old Walt had managed to find it and save the lady. So that's my little history lesson. I'm now walking through the palm plantation, the much neglected palm plantation. If that was the load of old men, they'd all be going grey. Look at it, isn't it a shame to see beautiful plants and they're not being taken care of. Beth says when we go past coconut trees and they don't look as if they're doing so well, Beth always says that coconut trees should be planted near to people. Not so near that they will fall on you, but should be planted near to people because they know that they are and they feel better. Actually, when I arrived here, there was an outhouse that was 30 or 40 feet, I think, from Nanai's house, which we used to use, an outside toilet, a privy, a bog, the loo, whatever you. Sorry, I'm trying to keep hold of my shock absorber. Anyway, there it was, and it just had a nipa roof, which is pieces of palm.
Hello.
Hey. See, it's getting so much traffic on this road now you can't hear yourself think. Anyway, luckily no one was sitting on the privy when a coconut made its way at terminal velocity from a very nearby coconut tree, and the coconut was let loose. And as I say, it plunged down at very high speed and went straight through the roof of the toilet. As I say, I don't think anybody was on it. Otherwise, if the timing and the targeting had been correct, they might have been rammed into the toilet itself. But all was well, and it didn't even break the toilet. These things happen. So that's my meandering for now. Look there, you've seen this before, the far distant hills, and over and beyond those, the village of Hope, which we'll be going to see again soon. So, forward and on to home. I am almost home now. When I walk in the evening, I walk this far, so it gives you an idea that there's not too far to go. Look at that, out there, and when I'm driving I don't even see that. Look at that hill right on the top there, and a nice tree on the top. These hills just keep going on and on and on and on, and there's there's rice fields there, look. And I don't think that they are our rice fields. The ones that you see when I do my sunset chats, that's somebody else's. So, thanks for looking in. Bye for now. Hope they've finally got the comments sorted out. It seems to be blinking on and off now. Sometimes it's there. Well, you see, now you see me, now you don't. Routine. Let's hope it will eventually be on, back on permanently. Bye for now.